Welcome to the Daily Tune-In for Thursday, November 4th. And what a busy day it is already in our atmosphere. I'm going to get into the space weather here in a couple of seconds. But when I woke up this morning, I had about 7 alerts on my phone about geomagnetic storms that were coming in, and the power of them kept going up. It was like, from a KP5 to a 6 to a 7. Currently, I just got a new update on my phone as I was getting ready to record this, and there's another KP7, which I'll show you what that looks like as well. So we have a lot going on that's going to be affecting you greatly in these next few hours, and especially these next few days that we know because of these energies coming in, and they're going to be impacting us for days. And also intuitively, we are in a massive influx of energies, and this is not going to go away anytime soon. This is going to be something that becomes a constant purge for our planet and for our systems. These energies are here to help us. They are here to help us purge, and they are also here to help us update. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what this means. And as far as symptoms, how do you know this is happening in your body? You probably already do, but you might think it's something else. So I'm going to talk about that and all of the upgrades we're receiving, because there's some really cool ones. But first I want to get into what the space weather looks like, so you can kind of put some mental and brain power to this, and then we get into the more energetic parts of it. And when you bring the two together, it helps to then understand a little bit further and to trust this process that we are in, this ascension process. So let's get over to all of the tools we have to look at. And I'm not going to spend too much time here because, as you can see, it's relatively quiet, and I find that very interesting. I'm not so sure this is completely accurate given the amount of energy that we have, and also it could be that the tool is affected by a lot of the geomagnetic activity, or it could be that it has been turned down so it's not accurately reading and kind of covering up some stuff. I don't know. I'm not speculating. I don't trust when there's nothing on here, and we know that there is a massive amount of energies coming into our planet. So how do we know that? Let's go over to the Magnetosphere and take a look at this. This is the pressure of the energies coming into our magnetosphere. This is Earth, as I always show. This is the sun facing, so this is a lot of energy coming in from those coronal mass injections that have been pouring forth. Look at that one. So these are coronal mass injections. We've had a couple that have been let off in the last couple of days, and this was predicted when we were going to be getting them later in the week of this week. So it is Thursday, and these are some pretty massive pressurized energies coming in, and as you can see, it is all around. We are being packed in. So we're going to talk about some of those symptoms that will come from this, and then we can also go to the planetary K index. This shows the magnitude of these energies. And as you can see, for today, we have had some geomagnetic activity from a KP5 all the way up to a 7, which is where we are currently. The interesting thing about this is the rating goes from a 0 on up to a 9, and we're at a 7. So these are pretty serious geomagnetic storms that are coming into our planet. And as you can see, they'll impact the space weather and GPS system, so that could be why the Schumann isn't registering appropriately. It will also impact electric power transmissions, HF radio communications, as well as satellite communications. So there could be a lot affected by this. Planes will be grounded during geomagnetic storms of this nature. So we have, we know that there are a lot of airlines canceling flights for one reason. It could also be that this is the reason as well, because they can't fly with these kind of geomagnetic pressures in the air. So lots of stuff going on. So what does this mean for you? Let's get into that message right now. So as you can see, we have a lot of stuff going on all around our planet. These are highly, highly potent, and I say that, I wish there were different words, but there's not. We are just in a potent time of energetic influx, and now we're getting kind of a big shower of them with that. It's kind of like the fire hose, so to speak, of energies coming in. And just as I'm recording this, I've had to work with my computer a couple times just recording this, just because it keeps freezing up. The camera keeps going down and freezing. So hopefully I can get through this message for today. But the message for today is going to add on to yesterday's message, which is about navigating the unspeakable. Because what came through for me actually overnight was to also point out that when we talk about the unspeakable, a lot of times our brains, we've been so conditioned in our mind, in our culture, to go to the fear-based idea of something. What does that mean, and how do I need to be worried about that? And yes, there's going to be a lot of unspeakable truths that bubble up in your own life, as well as in our planetary collective and with global events that are going to be unspeakable, and will probably dip into those lower densities of emotions. And remember, this is what the message was overnight, that there is an equal and opposite expression of every single part of a message that I deliver here. So what I was called to remind you of is there will be those unspeakable truths that come to the surface, that bubble up, that are those unspeakables that are, it has the energy of, like, you know how you don't want to always like talk about something, an intention or a dream you have, or something that you really want in your life because you don't want to jinx it. Those are the things to start speaking about, bringing those unspeakable truths out into your own existence. Whether you journal them out, you speak to them to someone who is safe to speak those things to. And what I mean by that is you can have somebody that you can share these unspeakable dreams and intentions with as you get new insights, as you get new ideas. Remember, we've been talking about this for weeks. These new things are going to be bubbling up because your pineal gland, your spiritual self is being activated like never before. So all of these parts of you are coming to the surface where you're like, whoa, where did that come from? And I love that, and I want to share that. I want to share that unspeakable part of me that I've never known. And this is where discernment is going to have to be yours to navigate as well. Because you can share things with someone who may not be of the consciousness to hear it, and may dampen your excitement by the realities, or here's what you need to know, when they really don't know. But then there are going to be those that you can share and participate in the exchange of excitement about these new ideas, these new desires, these new inquiries that you just want to go deeper into, with those who are willing to listen and who are willing to encourage you, because they are of a resonant consciousness, and they too are awakening to new ideas, and they are ready to share their unspeakable things with you without feeling like they're going to jinx it. So remember that there are some beautiful unspeakable truths also going to be bubbling up within you and within the possibilities of our collective, as people start coming together, as groups and collectives start coming together to bring a new revolution, a new change into our existing world, to take a denser expression of something and actually start to rise up and bring these unspeakable yucky truths to the surface. And these collectives are going to start changing and bringing out these unspeakable truths into a higher and more expressed expression. That's what this time is all about. So remember that there is an opposite expression. So it's not all going to be horrible, bad, yucky, dense, unspeakable truths. There's probably still going to be a lot of that because we still have a lot of densities that are being purged and cleared in our energetic field of our planet and of our individual selves. But there's also going to be this new rising of some unspeakables that have never been spoken, because people, when you start speaking about things that are, a higher and more expressed version of something, these densities that we have been operating in are easily to crush them. They crush them and say, oh, that can't happen, or that's just, positive thinking, or, we don't live in a world like that. That's unrealistic. There's going to be a lot of unrealistic things that start to bubble up that are going to become reality, because that's the splitting of the two worlds that we're talking about, from the 3D dense world into this higher vibrational, fourth and fifth dimensional worlds. That's where these unrealities, or these things that can't be realistic, are becoming reality. So we're going to start to see that rising up. That's really, really exciting, and that's really beautiful. And those are the things to be looking for. We have to start training our minds and our eyes and our consciousnesses to stop looking for the fear-based stuff. Stop looking at and participating in these denser worlds, and start looking for the opposite expressions, because that's where we want to be pulled forth into these new ideas, these new insights, these new inquiries that are being awakened by these high frequency energies, and awakening parts of us that have been dormant for so long. Those are the parts of us that are going to be gravitating to these new realities that are being put together by collectives who have the same and similar ideas, and they start resonating together, and you have all of these little collectives that are now bringing these new ideas to life. Yeah, it's such a beautiful and exciting thing, but it is up to us to start training ourselves to look for the higher expression of things, to start participating, to start trusting that they are in existence. We just can't see them because our world over here is doing everything possible to keep throwing everything in front of us that is the things to fear, because that's what keeps our consciousness down and away from these higher realities that then remove all of that and purge all of that density from our existence. There's a vested interest to keep all of the good stuff hidden, all of this amazing stuff that's happening hidden. So look for the light-hearted parts of life. It's in existence, it's happening, and people are doing some amazing work in this world to change it. The other thing with these energies is we are getting a high heart chakra update. So we have our heart chakra, and then we have the high heart, which is also called the thymus chakra. That is the part where like divine love and compassion and empathy rise up into our throat chakra. So we speak from this high heart chakra space of empathy and compassion and love. So what's happening is we're starting to integrate those energies into our throat chakra. So when we speak, we're speaking from those places of empathy and compassion. So one of the symptoms of that is kind of like clearing your throat. Maybe you have a sore throat as energies are purged and this integration happens. There is some physical aspects that are having to be expressed, that having to be manifested. So as these toxins or these emotions and this area is all cleansed and cleared by these energies, there is going to be a physical response. So if you find yourself going, or maybe having some postnasal drip, some of that stuff going on, a sore throat, that could be it. There's a very fine line between going to the fear of, I have a cold and I'm getting sick, or wait a minute, maybe these energies are actually doing this feeling of what we know to be sick is actually symptoms of my body cleansing and clearing and recalibrating itself. and these two chakras integrating so that when I speak, I'm speaking now from a place of compassion and empathy. The other chakra that's getting a massive update is our sacral chakra, that place of power. And that's where we're starting to rise up. That's where these other collectives are now rising up, and they're starting to then operate in those higher realms of existence where change and transformation for the highest and best good of all is starting to get sparked. And there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of power that's coming from all the darkness and all of this stuff that's going on, and the deception and the manipulation and the unspeakable truths over here that we're starting to see, and more people are waking up and seeing it, and they're saying, what do we do? As these chakras are getting all amplified and back online, and people are finding their place of power, they're learning how to integrate that high heart chakra information and knowledge, integrating it into the voice. So now we can come over here into an existence where not only are we taking what we're seeing in this unspeakable, deceptive manner, we're now rising in power and coming into and using our voice from a place of power and from a place of empathy and compassion and for the good of all. So we see all of this happening, but it first takes this rising in all of us. And that's what these energies are coming in. The energies are also bringing in an exotic cosmic particle, which is actually expanding our consciousness and clearing energetic debris out of Earth's energetic field. That's coming out of you, out of your energetic field. So you are being your debris, and old stuff is also just being helped from these energies to be purged out of your energetic system. So there's so much going on that we have to look at what are the symptoms. So we've talked about kind of the clearing of the throat area, headaches, and especially migraines, but constant just pressure headaches, right? And as I record this, I have to tell you, I do have that. I don't get too worried about it because I know that I'm healthy. I lead a very healthy lifestyle, and I know my body really well. I don't get sick, and I'm not afraid to say that. It's not an unspeakable thing. I don't believe in that because I believe in my body, and I believe it doesn't house disease and illness and sickness, because I have evidence of it. I go years without it, but I do have in this past year have had some pretty big headaches, but I also know how much work is being done energetically from the atmosphere and from these solar and cosmic energies coming in. And now these, what is it called? The exotic cosmic particles. Those words came up in my journal last night. I'm like, what the heck is that? And I did a little bit of research, but there are experiments on what these exotic cosmic particles are, but they still remain a mystery, which I love. Remain a mystery to scientists. It's still being researched. So that leaves it open for me to trust that our galactic friends and our higher multidimensional beings are helping us with these cosmic particles that our scientists, the human brain, the human mind can't quite wrap around yet. Even scientists, it remains a mystery. So I do believe that we are being helped. So headaches are, a sign that you're spiritual. These are our spiritual chakras, our third eye and our crown chakra, and then we have our star chakra that are all being cleansed and cleared and awakened. These have been dormant for a long time in most of humanity because they've been shut down from all of our environmental and programming, our cultural programming, all the things, our diets, our foods, all of it. So there's a lot going on. There's also, people will have aches and pains all through their back, lower back. If your physical life, your financial life, family life is a little bit disturbed, lower back pain is going to be very much something that is sore, that could have some discomfort, sciatica, anything in these lower root chakra areas that are affected. If you have any disruption in your family as these as these densities are being cleared and new, your consciousness is being upgraded. You're seeing things in a whole different way. You might be noticing and understanding more about dysfunction in your family that you just didn't see before. You might maybe be accepting it more and understanding that it's not healthy for you, and trying to figure out, what do I do? These are my family, and how do I clear this, and what do I need, how do I get healthy in this area when it's this family that I've had for years, and I've now realized how dysfunctional it is. You could get some lower back pain because all of your earthly connections are being disrupted. In the heart area, if you are experiencing more grief, if you are experiencing more sadness than ever before, maybe it's what you're seeing in the world. Again, maybe it's what you're realizing about, family or a job situation or whatever. Like, as these densities, everyone's so different. But if there's fear and grief and sadness that you're sitting in and feeling more and more, you might experience some pain in this heart area. Again, I'm not suggesting that you ignore anything that's chronic, but if there's something that you've never had that all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have like some heart palpitations. I know we've been getting these massive heart chakra activations. So I've had some pretty major woo 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 feelings in my. It's not palpitations. It's just it's a thumping of my heart space. So again, I'll just tune into it. And this is where we are starting to learn to use these capabilities, these psychic capabilities and intuitive capabilities that are being awakened even more so. And we tune in and just ask ourselves, is this an ascension symptom? Is this something I need to be concerned about? And you will know. So if you feel better, go to a doctor or a naturopath and get it checked out. Don't let anything go without, that's going to give you any doubt or any fear, because this is not what this is about. Being in the fear is keeping you then in that 3D realm. This is where we start to trust our senses. We tune into them. So whether it's a physical sense, whether it's an energetic sense, this is where you start to really, you have to just get away from going to the computer, looking things up. You can use that, but this is where your discernment comes in, by just being quiet with these symptoms and asking them and tuning into them. This is what the daily tune-in is all about, is giving you practical ways to understand this process and to understand yourself even more, because you are becoming someone you have never been before. This world is becoming something it has never been before. So we are all walking into a completely unknown territory, which has been taught to us in our culture that the unknowns are the scary things, whereas the opposite expression of that is the unknown is a place of exploration. It's a safe place for us to grow into and explore and be pioneers of a whole new existence of ourselves and our earth. So it's, which path are you going to take? This is where a choice is made day by day, every single moment. Do I go down the fear-based path that has been taught to me, or do I hold the opportunity or the possibility that there's this path that's this expansive place that I've never been, and there's an expression of me that has never been, and there's an expression of my planet and my earth and our lifestyles that have never been. And when I walk towards that, then you're stepping into the unknown of massive possibilities. So that is what this ascension process is helping you to go down that pathway where everything is more in alignment with truth, with expansion, with possibility, with abundance, with all of the things that support your body, which support you emotionally, which support you spiritually, so that you can be and have more meaning and purpose in your life. That's where we're going. That's what this narrative is all about. The other narrative down here is going to keep you really afraid. This narrative over here is going to keep you in an expansive and transformational space. If that's where you want to go, then keep with me on these daily tune-ins, because that's the direction I'm going, and I would love for you to be on this with me and have us lock arms and understand how we overcome our fears, how we let go of the programming and the lies and the deceptions that have been ingrained, and we embrace these energies coming in. We cleanse ourselves of all of that and step into a brand new expression of Earth, and we create then the new Earth. One last thing that did come up is to pay attention to your animals, if you have any animals, because they are pure expressions of energy. They are feeling these energies much more than we are, because we have all of these reasons why we have them. But for them, it could be foreign, it could be uncomfortable for them. I know my dog just a day or two ago was kind of running around like a little bit nervous. She looked nervous. So sometimes I'll just take her and just kind of like take my hands and run them down her and kind of help her ground down the energies, and taking her for walks and getting her out and rolling around in the grass so they just know to ground themselves down. They know what to do, but we just have to give them the space to be able to do it. So make sure that your pets are getting outside, even if you have indoor pets, like take them out and put them in a little, little area of the ground, so that they have some time to ground down and get into these energies as well. Lots and lots of water to flush your system and to anchor in these energies. And if you have a lot of pressure in your head, you just sit and imagine and allow, like almost move that energy down through your body and into the earth. So if you can get out and allow yourself to like visualize it coming through, it's kind of getting all clogged up here, because you have a lot of we all do. We all have a lot of blockages, in these higher chakra areas. So we need to kind of help the energy to move down. So that's something else that you can do as well. Take care of yourself, rest, take a nap if you have to. And in the comments, leave any symptoms that you're having as well. So we can also start to understand what other people are having. We don't feel so alone with these symptoms, because they can be intense. I have a circle that I share with, so we're always like, I have this going on, I have this going on. So we're all understanding how all the different facets of these energies and how they affect each person. So I want to start doing that. It was actually suggested to me by one of you who said, can you ask people to share what they're feeling? So let's do that as well. So thanks for being here today. I know it's a little bit long, it's a lot of information, but we have a lot of information coming in, a lot of energies coming in that are affecting us. And when we know what to do with them, we then ascend and we alchemize these energies much faster, so they will become easier for us to bring in. But right now there's a massive influx, so we're all going to be like for the next couple of days. So instead of walking around like this, let's understand how to ground these down and take care of ourselves. Thank you for being here. I will see you tomorrow on tomorrow's Daily Tune-In. Mwah. Bye. If today's Daily Tune-In brought you value and insight, please consider giving in return for that value by leaving a love offering. All donations go to keeping this platform operating and in service to humanity during these transformational times. To go even deeper into your soul frequency, please consider these offerings. For personal insights into your most pressing questions and concerns, get an energetic insight reading delivered directly to your inbox. To take a quantum leap in your transformation, book a personal session with Vedette. There are several options available based on how deeply you would like to go into your most desired soul-led life. To find more information and to book your sessions, please visit VedetteMayer.com.